Hello viewers, welcome to the digital class of Udainath Autonomous College of Science and Technology. In our last video, we have discussed what is the concept of array, how to declare an array, how to initialize an array. So we have discussed that we have different types of array. So we have discussed that how to initialize or declare a one-dimensional array. In today's video, we will be discussing what do you mean by two-dimensional arrays. That means the array which we have discussed previously is of a single dimensional, but now we will be discussing about two dimensional array. That means here there will be the concept of rows and columns. So in case of 1D array, we have a single dimensional array. That means the numbers or the elements of the array, the values of the array will be stored in a single dimension. But in case of 2D array, there will be concept of rows and columns. So here in 1D array we have the index as 0, 1, 2, 3. So as we have discussed, the index of the array always starts from 0 and we have a length of the array. Here also we have two dimensions, that means one for the column value and one for the row value. That means we have a single row over here in 1D array, but in case of 2D array we will have the concept of rows and columns. So these are the rows and these are the columns. So in case of 1D array we have already told you int, suppose let us say n of, here we have taken 4. So this is the graphical representation of the array of n of 4. That means the name of the array is n and 4 represents the number of elements in the array. So as we have index from 0, so it will continue up to 3. So as we have specified a single row value, so the value of the array or the elements of the array will be stored in a single dimensional concept. But when we are coming to the two dimensional concept, so we will have two dimensions. Let us say I will take int x of 2, sorry, this one is 3 and this one is 4. So here you can see the row value is 3 and the column value is 4. That means this is of 3, that means it will start from 0, so it will continue up to 2, and as we have the column value as 4, so it will start from 0 and it will come to 3. So here we have 3 rows and 4 columns. So in this way the structure of two dimensional array is designed. So whenever we want to store a large number, at that time we use the concept of 2D array. So in 2D array we have the row value and the column value. So depending on the row number and the column number, the table will be created or the array will be created in a tabular form. So here the index is 0, 1, 2, 3. But what is the index of 2D array? So the index of 2D array always comes with the first is row value and second one is your column value. So this will be regarded as 0 and 1, this one will be 0, 1 and this one will be 0, 0 because row value is 0, column value is 0. So it is 0, 0. Next it will come as 0, 1, row value 0, column value 1. Similarly it will be 0, 2, here it will be 0, 3 and in this way it will continue. So in this case, that means in row number 1 I will have 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2 and 1, 3. Similarly here it will have 2, 0, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2 and 2, 3. So these are the index value of the 2D array. So this is the concept of 1D array, and if we want to store a large number, there we can use the concept of 2D array in which we have the data in a tabular form. Now we will move to the syntax and examples of 2D array. So we have a syntax of two dimensional array. So it is very similar to the concept of 1D array. So first we have to specify the data type of the array because we know that the array carries a single data type. Next is carries the array name, then the row size, then the column size. So this is the general syntax of a two-dimensional array. So it is very similar to the 1D concept, but we have added a new concept, that is your column size. So data type will be there, then followed by array name, then we will have row size and then the column size. So here I can write an example. Let's say I will write int in case of data type. So in place of array name, let's say I will take n, and now we will specify the row size and the column size. So depending on the size of the array or the size of the data which we want to store, we will take the size of row and column. So let's say I will take 2 and 3. So when I will write that int n of 2 and 3, that means it will initiate or it will store 2 rows and 3 columns. That means 2 rows and 3 columns. So the 2 index value will have 0, 0, 1 and the 3 will have 0, 1, 2, because the array index starts from 0 and it will continue up to 1. That means we have 2 row values and 3 column values. So similarly, we have already discussed that whenever we will declare or we will specify a particular cell in an 2D array, we need to have first row value, then we will have the column value. So here the row value is 0 and the column value is 0. So it will have 0, 0, it will have 0, 1, it will have 0, 2. Similarly, this will become 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1, 2. So in this way, we can refer each cell or each element of the data through its index number. So if we want to store any value to the array, so we need to have, let's say I will write n of 0, 0 equal to 54. That means what? The row having value 0 and the column having the value 0 will contain the value 54. That means 0, 0 will contain the element as 54. Let's say I will write n of 1, 2 equal to 99. So n of 1, 2 will have the value as 99. So similarly, I can store any value using the indexes of the array. So first it will have the row number, second it will have the column value. So in this way we will store, or we can store the value or the elements of the array through the index number. So this is all about the syntax and example of array. So now we will be using the 2D array through a program. So now we will move to the memory representation of a 2D array. So we have already discussed how to represent the memory or how to calculate the memory in case of array or a single dimensional array. So we have already discussed that array reserve continuous memory location. So let's say I have written int n of 3. That means it will reserve 3 memory locations in the RAM. So by default all the memory locations are stored in the RAM. So the index value will start from 0. So whenever we will be assigning any value or we will be storing any element in the array, so let's say the address of this memory is suppose 300. So as we know the capacity of int is 2 byte, so the next value will become 302. Why 302? Because as it is of integer type, so it will reserve the memory 300 and 301. Similarly, it will have 302 and 303. Similarly, 304 will be the next address of the second index. That means it will contain, the first index will contain 300 and 301, second one will contain 302, 303 and the last one will contain 304 and 305. So this is the general memory representation of a 1D array. This is the same case of 2D array. So in 2D array, let's say I will write int x of 2 and 3. That means it will have 2 rows and 3 columns, and we know that the row value will be 0, 1 and the column value will be 0, 1, 2. So as we know all the indexes, that means it will have 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, similarly 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1, 2. So this is the index representation of the array. Now if we are storing a number or any element, so here the case is very similar to the 1D array. That means if this memory block has the address as let's say 200, then the next one will be 202, the next one will be 203. 4. Similarly, it will continue 206, 208, 210. Why it will continue? Because it reserves a single memory location. That means a continuous or consecutive memory location will be stored in case of array. So if we are storing a memory block of integer type and integer has a capacity of 2 bytes, so it will have 200 and 201, it will have 202, 203, it will have 204, 205, and similarly this will go on. Now let's take an example of a 2 cross 3 array where we will be storing the numbers and we will be printing them. So as per the syntax of a C program, we will start with hash include stdio.h, which is the general syntax of a C programming language, followed by void main. So here we have to take a 2 cross 3 array. That means here we have the concept of row number and column number. So let's say I will take int n of 2 and 3. So our first array initialization part has been completed. Now we will be storing the numbers and we will be printing them. So if we want to store the numbers, we can we can store the numbers directly. That means let's say I will write n of 00 equal to 54. Next will be n of 01. Let's say I will write 99. So we have an array of 2 rows and 3 columns which will have the index numbers as 00, 01, 02, 10, 11 and 12. So this is the index numbers of different cells in a 2D array. Now we will be storing the numbers. So first element will have 00. So 54 will be stored in 00. Next I have written 01 equal to 99. That means 01 index will have 99. Similarly, n of 02 will have, let's say I will write 144. So 02 will have 144. Similarly, I will write for the next row, that is row number 1. So the first row number will have, let's say I will write 296. That means row value 1 and column value 0. That means 10 will contain the value 296. Similarly, n of 11 will have, let's say 499. So in case of 1 and 1, it will have 499. And finally we have n of 12. So let's say I will write 555. So it will contain the value 555. So in this way we can store the numbers. So as per our question, we have to store numbers into an 2 cross 3 array. So we have to declare the array of 2 cross 3, that means row 2 and 3 columns, and we will be storing the values in this way. That means the first will be having the row number and the second will have the column number, and in this way we will be storing the values in the array. So now we have to print the array. So we can print the arrays by specifying their row numbers, or we can take the help of a loop. So first we will be printing the array using the index values manually. In the next program we will be discussing how to execute the row value and column value using the concept of loop. So to print the values, we have the printf function. Let's say I will write the escape sequence as \n %d n of 00. Similarly, printf \n %d n of 01. Then printf \n %d n of 02. So this is the end of the first row, that means 00, 01 and 02. Then we will be coming to the next row, that means \n %d n of 10. Next we will have printf \n %d n of 11, and last we will have printf \n %d n of 1, 2. So in this way we will be printing the elements of the array. So we have already stored the numbers. Now we will be printing the values according to the index number. So the index number will have the row number and the column number. So all these values will be printed according to the index number specified. So the output will be in this way: 54, then 99, then 02, that is 144, then 10, that is 296, then 11, that is 499, and the last one 12, that is 555. So in this way we will be storing the values, in this way we will be printing the values, and finally we have the output in this manner. So this is all about storing the numbers into an 2x3 array and printing them. So now we will have another example where we will be storing an array using the loop and we will be printing the values. So now we will be solving this program using the concept of loop. So as per the C program structure, we will have hash include stdio.h, then we will have void main, which is a general syntax of a C programming language. Now we have to declare an array of 2x3. That means we have to take a two-dimensional array of 2 rows and 3 columns. Now we need another variable which we will be using in the loop. So let's say I will write int, let's say I will take r and c, that is for row value and column value. That means we need the help of two variables, one for holding the row value and another for holding the column value. So we will use the loop. Let's say I will write for r equal to 0, r less than 2 and r plus plus. Next we will have for column equal to 0, column less than 3 and column plus plus. Now we will be accepting the values using scanf ampersand n of r c. We will be explaining using the rough work. So now we need to printing the values. So r equal to 0, r less than 3, r plus plus. For c equal to 0, c less than 3, we have row values as 2, so we must write r less than 2, and we have column value as 3, so it will be less than 3 and c plus plus. Now we will be printing the values. \n %d n of r and c. Now we will be explaining with a rough work. So I have written n of 2, 3. That means n will have an array of 2 rows and 3 columns. So we have already specified. Now we will be having a n array of 2 row and 3 columns. So we have the index number of row as 0 and 1 and the index of the column will be 0, 1, 2. So first r will have the value as 0 and it will be checking the condition. So 0 is less than 2, yes, true, it will enter the second loop. That means it is the inner loop, it is the outer loop. So it will come over here and c will have the value as 0. So 0 is less than 3, yes, 0 is less than 3, so it will enter the loop and it will enter the value in place of n of r c. So the r value is 0 and c value is 0. So in place of 0, 0, the user has to enter a value. Let's say the user has entered 54. So when he will enter 54 and press enter key, the 54 will be stored in 0, 0 location because we have taken r and c, and r contains 0 and c contains 0. So when it will move to this curly bracket, so it will be redirected to c plus plus. That means c will have 1. So again it will check the condition, 1 is less than 3, yes, true. Again n of rc, that means 0, 1. So in case of 0 and 1, we have to enter another number. Let's say I will write 149 or the user has entered 149. So similarly it will go to c plus plus. So c will have 2. So 2 is less than 3, yes, 2 is less than 3, the condition satisfies. Now it will store the value in place of 0 and 2. So in the index number having 0 and 2, it will store a value. Let's say I will write 555. So again when it will move to c plus plus, so c will become 3. Now it will check the value, 3 is less than 3, the condition returns false. So it will come out from this for loop, that means the inner loop gets void. So it will come out from this loop and it will come to this curly bracket, and this curly bracket will be redirected to r plus plus. That means r will value 1. So 1 is less than 2. Yes, true. It will come over here. Now C will have again the value as 0. So 0 is less than 3. Yes, true. It will enter over here. It will enter in R and C. So R has value 1 and C has value 0. So in place of 1 and 0, I will store a value. Let's say 1449. So again, when it will move to this curly bracket, it will be redirected to C++. So C will have 1. 1 is less than 3. Yes, true. It will enter the value in R and C. That means 1 and 1. So let's say I will write 249. So again C++. So C will have value 2. 2 is less than 3. Yes, true. In R and C, it will store the value. That means 1 and 2. That means let's say it will write 2000. Suppose. So again, when it will move to C++, so C will have 3. So 3 is less than 3. No, the condition returns false. So it will come out from this block and it will be inside the for loop of R. So now again the R value will be increased to 2. Now it will check 2 is less than 2. The condition returns false. So the two conditions or the nested condition becomes false. So in this for loop or this concept, we have used to enter the values from the user in 2x3 array. The same concept will be followed for retrieving or printing the values from the array. So again you can see we have the same row number and column number because the row is of 2, that means 0 and 1, and the column will have 0, 1, 2. So it will start from 0 and it will be less than 3, that means it will continue for 0, 1 and 2. So in this way the row values will be calculated. That means for row value 0, the C value will be 0, 1 and 2. Similarly for row value 1, the column value will be 1, 1, 1 and 1, 2. So in this way the numbers will be extracted from the array, 2D array, and it will be printed. So the final output will be in this format. As I have not used to print the values in row wise and column wise, so I have simply written it in printf. So all the values will be printed in a single line. So let's say 54 will be printed first, followed by 149, then 555, then 1449, then 249, and finally 2000. So in this way the value will be stored or it will be accepted by the user, then it will be printed by the user using this format. We can change the format also if we want to print it in row wise and column wise. So we have to eliminate the \n over here, that means the format specifier over here, and we can use another format specifier, let's say tab space, and here we will be giving a \n. So in this format, when the same column will be executed, that means for row value 0, all the columns value will be executed and it will be printed in a single line. That means we will have 54, 149 and 555 in a single line because we have used \t, that means a tab space. So all the numbers will be printed in a single line, and when it will come out from this column, the cursor will move to the next line and again all the numbers will be printed, that is 1449, the second is 249 and the last one is 2000. So if we want to print all the numbers in a single line, then no need to write this line is enough for where we will be writing the escape sequence as \n, and if we want to print the numbers column wise, so we have to use this format for printing the values. So this is all about to enter numbers into an 2x3 array and print them. So I hope you have understood all the things or all the elements that are covered in 2D array. In our next video we will be describing what is the concept of 3D array or multi-dimensional array. Till then, thank you.